Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sports Corner with the Conn Man, brought to you by Sports Entertainment Network I-95, Blackjack TV, as well as the Baldies Podcast Network. I have a very special guest today. His name is Justin Paden. What's going on, my brother?
Hey, man. What's up? I'm glad to be back on the show, man. What is up with you, man? How you been?
I'm doing all right, man. We know we're going through a little bit of technical difficulties, but, we're going to make it happen.
Oh, man,
Tell everybody how they can hear you or watch you on your platform.
Yeah, man. I have a YouTube channel. It's called It's Just JP with the Z instead of the S and it's. You can watch me on YouTube. I do NBA content and everything. So if you want to get a link, just follow me on my Facebook, Justin Paden, Instagram, JPaden57, Twitter, JP Franchise 57, and there's a link to my YouTube channel. They can check me out there.
And you a busy man.
All the time, man. All the time.
Now, JP, the last time we spoke, it was regarding the NCAA tournament, and we went and broke it down bracket by bracket, region by region, and obviously I picked Gonzaga to win.
Me too.
The thing about it, JP, I didn't really get a chance to see Baylor all year long, so I just went with my intuition, and obviously that was wrong. But I didn't expect Baylor to come out the way they did. But what's your take on the NCAA finals? What's your take on it?
Hey, man, I didn't think Baylor was going to come off and gave off and dominated the whole game and stuff. It just seems like Gonzalo wasn't just ready for Baylor, and Gonzalo was still kind of feeding off from that last game when Suggs hit the game win on UCLA, and then Baylor just came out and just destroyed them right there because they thought they had an easy path. It just tells you with the undefeated team and all that, you just don't know what's going to happen. Just like the 2007 Patriots went undefeated and lost in the Super Bowl.
Right. Now, let me ask you a question, JP, regarding the NCAA. Then we're going to get into the NBA, but I wanted to get your take on it. What do you think about 1,500 going into the transfer portal? What do you think about that?
Oh, it seems like most of the people that want to transfer probably want just to get more playing time, or they find better opportunities to better themselves in their basketball career and everything, starting from a small school. And if they get accepted by a big school that got a good basketball program, they transfer over there. Some just probably want more playing time and want to start their position or feel like they need a better education. So I guess, that's just their choice that they're in and everything. I wish them all the best.
I hear you. All right, now let's give me your overall take on the NBA as it is right now.
Man, the NBA season, it's just been just a year of just injuries and everything. It's been a pretty good season. It's been a lot of social justice movements and stuff that the NBA is doing, and still trying to play in the bubble. And they started allowing fans back, not too long ago, just a little bit. Just been a lot of good teams, surprise teams that came into the conference in the top 8 seeds and everything. So it's been a pretty good season. Just loving just the entertainment aspects and seeing your favorite players put on the show, and the rookies too as well.
And during this pandemic, COVID-19 experience, I find myself watching a lot more games. Even the late games. So I have more of a take on what's going on with the West Coast teams, more so than I've ever had. You know what I mean? And now as far as the injuries concerned, I was watching one of the sports shows and they were talking about injuries. And do you realize that there are less injuries in the NBA this year than in the past?
Wow.
That's what I said. Yes, that's what I said. I was kind of shocked by that. But when we talk about the NBA and we're talking about the teams and players taking time off, or whether it be from injury or getting rest or whatever the case may be, going in sabbaticals like Kyrie takes every now and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is your take on that?
I'm always old school minded. It's like if you can play like it's your last game, and if there's a kid in the stands that never saw you play, I would just go in the habit and just play the games. But the players today are like more smarter and stuff because they know that it take a toll on their bodies. You see with the Kawhi Leonard too as well when he signed that contract with the Clippers to he doesn't really play back to back games and everything. So you started seeing a lot of people just resting. The Kyrie situation is just so different because I have no idea what he'd be thinking of sometimes. I really just don't know. He'll probably text Steve Nash and be like, "Hey, can I get a day off? I just want to just celebrate with my family and stuff." And I mean, I have no idea what's going on in his head and stuff. But the players today are just a lot more smarter, and then you start seeing a lot of teams. The Spurs did it first. And the Raptors, they got fined 25,000 just for Western players. So I'm old school minded. I like to see the players play and stuff. Because imagine if you had a ticket and you never saw LeBron play, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take a day off." It's like I just wasted whatever how much just to come and watch LeBron play. So,
JP, what do you think about the fact that it's been said that the players don't care about the regular season, that they're more concerned with the playoffs?
That's gonna be it's a fight. It's like a double standard with the regular season because a lot of people, a lot of players complain that it's just a long regular season. It should shorten out, less than 82 games. The playoffs, yes, the intensity is high. Everybody gets so emotional with the playoffs and all that. So I totally understand that. I mean, in past years, there's always been just a fight. With just trying to have less regular season games or longer all-star breaks, and it's just like a double standard, and it's just kind of hard. You got your preseason, then you get your regular season. I wouldn't know an answer for that if I was was outside of an NBA fan like I am as a player. I probably understand why they want less regular season than or just focus on the playoffs more than the regular season. So.
Okay, I respect your answer on that. Now let's break it down. Let's really break it down. Let's go to the Eastern Conference.
Yes.
All right. Now I'm gonna name the team, and then you tell me what you think about them. Let's start off with my surprise team of the Eastern Conference, or the Southeast Conference, is Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, man. With Trae Young leading the charge, and then that was a great pickup when they got Clint Capella from the Houston Rockets because he's a double guy that can rebound and can score too as well. And also getting the I forgot the person's name from Sacramento, a really good shooter, and with John Collins too as well. So they kind of surprised me coming out the East, but they always had had a really talented squad, but they were just a young team though. They were just a young team. So yeah, I'm very shocked that they'll in the playoff seed and everything, but I'm really happy that they're really trying to find success.
And JP, you know what another great addition to that team was, or is? Lou Williams.
Yes.
That he's about 105 years old. He's played for 27 teams, but he's like instant offense. You know what I mean? And the guy, he seems to be well traveled, but the guy has a great gift to score, and I think he's gonna take a little bit of pressure off Trae Young. And they got the young stud. John Collins, who's finally getting healthy again, and they got Capella playing out of his mind. He's averaging 14 rebounds a game.
Yes, and that's the thing. When I was criticizing Houston Rockets, it's the first thing I was like, "What the hell did you trade Clint Capella for?" It's like this guy's just giving you your rebounds and it was easy for him just to throw an alley hoop to him to score the basketball. Why you got rid of him just to go play small ball? So Atlanta got a really good addition with Clint Capella and everything. And Lou Williams, forgot about Lou Williams. He got ability to score. He can finally get to his chicken wing place too as well. I'm sorry, I had to do it. I'm
sorry, Lou. Yeah, all he has to do is get on the highway. But let's talk about a team that maybe people had, I guess, higher expectations of, and for whatever reasons, they haven't really played up to par. I'm gonna go with Toronto. What do you think about Toronto?
I think when they lost Kawhi Leonard after he signed with the Clippers, you would think that Pascal Siakam, after he played out of his mind in the finals, along with Fred VanVleet, who's been playing really good too as well, you thought they would be the ones that's going to step up, to help Kyle Lowry with the team and everything. And it just didn't really happen with Siakam. But Fred VanVleet, been playing really good. Nick Nurse is a great coach too as well. They're just missing some pieces. I hated that they lost, Norman Powell to Portland in the trade and everything, because that was a big, tremendous loss for them. That team is just kind of just rebuilding, because they were trying to trade Kyle Lowry too as well, and try to get VanVleet to really be the guy for that team, along with Siakam. And hopefully if Siakam can really get back to his all-star level, that would be good. But yeah, they just kind of fell off, though. They might win a couple of games. That's really good, but it just seems like they just fell off after 2019 NBA Finals.
Do you think moving from Toronto to Florida had any impact?
I'm sure it does, just because, when you start bringing back the fans, especially like the Toronto fans and everything, it's not like they're going to go travel all the way down to Florida to watch their favorite team, unless you're really big, unless Drake can invite like 1,500 people on his private jet down to Florida to go watch the Raptors play. But, it could have a chance, but, everyone played in the bubble last year, and you got that experience playing in the bubble only in Florida and stuff. So, it could have an impact a little bit, but they still are just missing something, and they just haven't been like the same since Kawhi left Toronto.
I tend to agree with you on that. I definitely agree with you on that. It's a shame. Now let's go. Another team that I thought would be playing better, but they more or less gave up 90% of their damn team. Orlando Magic.
Yeah, man. It just seems like with Vucevic and Aaron Gordon, and along with some other key pieces, you thought that they could make some noise. Because they always one of those lower seeds. You think that they could get better, and they could get like a couple more pieces and stuff. I thought the addition of Cole Anthony was going to really help them. But then when they traded Aaron Gordon because he wasn't happy being there, I was surprised about the Vucevic trade to Chicago. Because I was like, why would you trade your best player on the Atlanta Magic team and take them to Chicago? That's making Chicago an even better team. If they gel together like for the whole season, that team is going to make some noise. But yeah, I was surprised. I guess they're just like thinking about trying to rebuild that team again. But yeah, it just seems like they're one of those teams that should have got better, but it just seems like they just can't. They just really just can't. I don't know if it's just the coach or it's just like I just don't know with the Magic. So
I think they're doing like Philadelphia did a couple years ago. You know what I mean? Waiting for that very first pick or second pick to try to make them better, because they haven't been relevant and for so long. You know what I mean? They haven't been relevant at all. You know what I mean? And I don't know about that. I don't know how the ownership is. Again, as I've always stated before, it always begins from the top. And
yes.
It seems like the top is a little bit confused. I can't figure it out. And I'm going with the lower teams first before we get into the heat of the battle.
Yes.
I'm going to go next. I'm going to go with a team who I thought at the beginning of the year would be okay, and I think they're going to get better as the year goes along. I'm talking about the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, the Indiana Pacers, I love the addition they got with Karis LeVert from the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes, he's nice.
He's such a great scorer alone, and then you get you got Magnum Brown, who is really coming into his own with Indiana. I hated that they fired Nate McMillan. I understand that they want to win right away and win the championship, but then it's like they had a defensive identity. They were a really good defensive team, and losing Miles Turner, that kind of hurts, because Miles Turner was doing really well. He was like one of the top players going for Defensive Player of the Year too, as well. So, that team, it just seems like they're just up and down, but they always kind of win like the big games too as well. But I always love watching that team because they play team basketball, and just seeing, like I said, Malcolm and Karras, Karras coming into his own too as well. So that team is going to be really good coming up, hopefully next year. So.
Okay, now we're going to go to the bottom of the barrel. We're going to go to the Detroit Pistons, my former great team. I don't know what's going on with them.
That team is always like, I don't know. It just seems like you would think they were good a couple years ago. You had a couple years ago, or a season ago. You had Andre Drummond, you had Blake Griffin, he had Derrick Rose there. He was like, okay, this team should be like at least in the the top 8 teams, because just on paper they look really good and all that. Got rid of Blake Griffin, who's doing good with pretty good with the Nets. Got rid of Derrick Rose, who's doing good with another team that we'll talk about later on. And then Andre Drummond going to Cleveland, and then now he's a Laker. It just seems like, now what I like is what they added Jeremiah Grant from Denver last year, because he had a really good playoff run with Denver. I like that he improved, and he was really heavily discussed as, trying to win most improved player between him and, Christian Wood before he got hurt, and along with Julius Randle. So, I just don't know what's going on. I don't know if Isaiah just like tell teams that, nah, we'll just wait until we just get like another draft pick. I don't know what's going on with that team. I really don't.
Do you know that there is talk about Jeremy Grant going to the Knicks?
I could see that. I could see that. I could see he could be a really good addition as a backup too, as well. Especially like give Julius Randle some rest, and then RJ Barrett rest too as well, and you can have like another score with the Knicks. Definitely, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Okay, let's talk about the infamous Washington Wizards.
What is yes, I should just call it the Washington triple doubles, because that's all Russell Westbrook is doing, is trying to get like a triple double and all that. Just trying to win. I guess that team is just like, I just don't know what's going on with it. Bradley Beal's playing really well. Westbrook's playing really well. It just seems like the team is just, I just don't know what's going on. I don't think Scott Brooks is the right coach for the Wizards. They need another person. I like that Rui, that Asian player Rui. I forgot his last name. I can't. But he's a sleeper. As one of the underrated forwards in the game. But
is that Avita?
Hachimura?
Hachimura. Yeah, he's good.
Hachimura.
Yeah. Oh, he's
that guy is really good.
Yeah. I like his game. No doubt about it, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's really good.
Now, what is your take on that? Since you talked about coaches, what is your take on how come Mark Jackson can't get a job?
Man, that's the same question I'm always like asking myself. Is like, Mark Jackson, with Golden State and all that, I have to give him credit, because he built that identity with Golden State. And before Steve Kerr took over and, put his philosophy of his experience winning championships and, the Coach Popovich learning tree. I just don't know why had with Mark Jackson. You would think Mark Jackson would have been the head coach of the New York Knicks. Or you would think Mark Jackson would have been. I just don't know why he couldn't get a job. I don't know why he doesn't get a job. I just feel like he should at least be coaching somewhere. He's actually a really good motivator, especially for players, especially with that young Golden State team. He was a really great motivator and gave them confidence. I feel like he could work with. I feel like any team could pick him up, but I don't know why. He's not getting picked up unless he's getting blackballed by the league, which is really ridiculous.
What I heard was he's getting blackballed because of his Christian beliefs.
Well, so that's I just think it's just kind of ridiculous just because somebody has beliefs about something, like that doesn't mean that like their beliefs is going to influence like the locker room or whatever, as a coach and all that, I mean, I just think it's ridiculous. They probably think so. That's why he hasn't. They haven't put him. They have no team want to put him as a coach. But I just think it's ridiculous.
He's a leader of men. He's a leader of men. He's proven his point. I mean, the players all loved him. I don't know. I don't know.
He even said that like at the time, like when they were trying to be a proven team that Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are the two greatest shooters ever, and we were just kind of laughing at him, like, yeah, why would you say that? But looking at years later, you're like, boy, he must predict the future or something. He must be Mr. Clear or something. So, oh my goodness. I was like, wow, he actually did say that in 2013, I believe. So
now I'm going to talk about a team that, sometimes, well, there's a couple of teams, but sometimes when a player goes to a team, they can affect that team tremendously. And the next team I'm going to be talking about is the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, man, the Charlotte Hornets, when they got LaMelo Ball, there was a lot of expectations on him as well. And he's been playing really well this season. I had him as the Rookie of the Year, but it wasn't just LaMelo Ball. With Gordon Hayward too coming out of Boston, he was playing really well. The only thing about Gordon Hayward is just because he's just so injury prone. You don't know how healthy he would be. Terry Rozier was a good pickup. They thought Terry Rozier was going to be like the next one for the Hornets and stuff. There's always something about the Hornets, like every single year, like always the good question is Michael Jordan ever going to play up a game or win the finals or win the championship as an owner?
Yeah.
I said no because Michael Jordan is the greatest player ever. Great players don't make great coaches or owners. Well, unless with the exception of Larry Bird and all that. But Miles Bridges actually been playing really well. Every game is a highlight done with Miles Bridges. I like PJ Washington too as well. Devontae Graham, I like him too because I thought he would be the one that will step up too as well with the Hornets. So they kind of got a little bit of identity with LaMelo Ball. Just coming there, and they're also getting exposure and having people come out and watch the Hornets. I haven't heard anyone be like, "Oh, I'm about to go watch the Hornets today." And then when LaMelo Ball went there, I was like, I'm actually going to watch it. And so yeah, having them in the 8th seed and all that, that's just really good. Just to see them trying to make the playoffs and everything. So, but yeah, they still just got a long ways to go and stuff, but that I give Michael Jordan credit, picking up a LaMelo Ball and getting Gordon Hayward. I'm still mad that he gave Gordon Hayward like a max contract. That's just crazy.
Yeah, he picked it up from the Celtics, and that probably wasn't a great move. But you know something though, JP, the fact that when Gordon Hayward went to Charlotte, what he did was he opened up the offense. Because it left them another perimeter shooter, and who gained from that experience was Terry Rozier. Mm-hmm. Now you got Gordon Hayward, who's averaging about 20 points a game. You got Gordon Hayward averaging 20 points a game. So you're getting more offense from the perimeter. Yeah. And I think that, like you said, now when LaMelo coming back now, I mean, he's a walking assist. I mean? He's an exciting player. He's young. Yeah. The players love to play with him because he's the type of player like Magic. I'm not comparing him to Magic, but what I'm saying is when you got a guy like that, you run the floor because you're going to get it. Yeah. And it's going to make the team. And damn well when you play offense, you score, that almost kind of enables you to play better defense when you score and you're getting the ball.
That's always been LaMelo's weakness. That's always been LaMelo's weakness is the defense because we always talk about his defense. We never talk about him offensively because he's a special talent and everything. Like you say, an excited player could pass the ball. He could score that basketball and drive it. He's getting stronger too as well. I've seen a couple of games where he would be going in the hole and he finish up strong and get some hang time too as well. But we always question his defense as well. But he kind of improved on his defense too this year. So I'm can't wait to see him how he will be improving each year.
All right, now we got to go to South Florida. We got to go to South Florida. What's going on with Miami?
Everybody was just talking about, oh man, they must have had like some lucky charms and made it to the NBA Finals, with Jimmy Butler and Bam leading the charge and all that. I don't know what's going on. It just seems like, Jimmy Butler haven't been playing a lot of games too this year as well. I thought, Tyler Hill was going to step up really big like he did in the playoffs, along with Duncan Robinson. They still have Dragic. They still have that identity with Miami. Eric Spoelstra is a great coach. You could just tell, like, each year, like, with the team that he has, they either, like, do really well, make it to the playoffs. We didn't expect them to go to the finals last year. That surprised everybody. But their defense was just, like, solid. I don't know what was going on with them this year and stuff, but other than Jimmy Butler missing a lot of games and everything. So, and Tyler Hill not stepping up or having potential because he kept getting tossed around in trade talks and stuff. So I don't know.
I think they got his number. I think they got his number. I think that they found out what he can do, what he can't do, and he came on like a ball of fire, and no one really knew about him. But now I think they got hip to him, and they got a hold of the game. But they still got a chance to make the playoffs. Right now they're 30-28, so they got a good possibility of making it. If Butler comes back and he's healthy, they got a shot. They definitely have a shot.
That's the only question is the health. So
now let's go up to Madison Square Garden. Woo! Let's talk about the Knicks. What's your take on the Knicks?
Oh man, Stephen A. Smith is going to go to the wig shop and go get an afro because man, he is so happy with the Knicks. Oh my goodness, the Knicks really surprised me. But I was not surprised when they got Tim Thibodeau as a head coach because Tim Thibodeau can coach and has a defensive identity too as well. Like you seen with him with the Boston Celtics in that championship and what he did with Chicago with Rose and Joakim Noah and all them. But having Derrick Rose there too as well that knows the playbook and stuff that Thibodeau does and know how Thibodeau coaches. Julius Randle has been playing unbelievable. Like when him and Zion went at it the other day, they went at it, and Julius is just playing at an all-star level. I think he's probably going to win Most Improved Player. RJ Barrett's been playing really good too as well. I love the addition of Noel just to bring another defensive player that could really block and stuff. He had a really incredible block on Brandon Ingram the other day to help win that game.
I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, man, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. So, yeah, the Knicks just really surprised me. And I'm really happy that they are able to make noise and be able to make the playoffs and all that. Shaq said if they could get the 4th seed and get home court advantage, then he'd be really impressed. You should be impressed with them already because they haven't made the playoffs since Carmelo Anthony was there. So they are making noise. They are making noise right now.
What's funny, too, what makes me really push for the Knicks right now is I know Thibodeau pretty well. I played against him in college, believe it or not. Yes, he played at Salem State. But anyway, but I like the way that the Knicks are playing. They're fun to watch. I never used to really watch. The last few years, I ain't been even watching them. But I enjoy watching them. Randall's a beast. They're playing with heart. Defensively, they're very good. I love the addition of Derrick Rose. To me, he just brings the heart and soul to that team. And I tell you what, a lot of people in New York are very happy right now. I tell you what, so I'm definitely impressed with them. Now, I know you way out there and we out here in Massachusetts. So obviously we got to talk about the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
So go ahead. You go first. Go ahead.
Oh man. Well, they were on that 6-game winning streak, which I was happy about, and then they lost to Chicago. I was like, dog. The thing about Boston, because we kept talking about they're one of those teams every year, like top 3 teams and all that. But then there's always been the question. It just seems like the way their offense is run, it just seems like it's just isolation. It's either Jaylen Brown is going to score or go into the hole. Jason Tatum going to shoot the ball or go into the hole. Kemba Walker, sometimes he have one of those games where he'll score like 27, 30 points, and then he'll have like 10 or 12 points the next game. So I don't know what's going on with their offense and how they, and how they are running. Everybody was questioning Brad Stevens and his coaching ability, that they probably want him fired or be gone. I think he's a great coach, but it just seems like, it's always the same thing every year for the Celtics. The highlight of another highlight is the rookie they have, Peyton Pritchard. He's been playing really well, and I've been really happy to see him play. Taco Fall, it was like, where is he going to fit in the Celtics system? Danny Ainge is a great GM. We never give him a lot of credit. He's a great GM, and he knows like how to find the players that he needs for that team. So, but the Celtics, it's just like, it's like they're missing something. They've always been lacking size. And losing Daniel Tice was pretty. I hated it when Daniel Tice got traded. I thought he brought a lot of energy to that team, but they always been lacking the size to me.
I'm sure Tice was very happy when they beat him the other night. I know he was very happy about that.
Oh God, he is, yeah.
But something too, which is kind of funny. They picked up Jabari Parker. Now, to me, that's a good pick. I mean, he was a second overall pick coming out of Duke. Yep. I mean, when he got drafted by Milwaukee, and then Milwaukee, I guess things ran up because he had some off-court issues. They sent him to Sacramento, and he kind of, was set out to pasture. But he has a 15-point per game career average. He has a good perimeter game. He can take it to the cup. Get a good turnaround jump shot. I like the way he plays. I think he's going to be definitely good addition. Okay, now let's go with Milwaukee Bucks. Something? They're not flashy. They're not really exciting to watch. But guess what? They're always there at the end.
The fundamentals. Mike Budenholzer coming from the Popovich system. They're always a great regular season team and everything. The only question is like in terms of the playoffs. The struggle is when Giannis is getting like the wall with the players and all that. That's how they've been killing Giannis in the playoffs, is that he's not a great shooter. So like they will create like a wall just to have him not drive into the hole and stuff, and then they would have to depend on Middleton and Pat and all of them to shoot the basketball. DiVincenzo. I love the addition. I love the addition of Drew Holiday. I thought, Drew Holiday is probably the most underrated player in the NBA. A guy that could score and get 20, 23 points a game, and also a great defensive player will guard, your best player too as well. So I thought that was a really good pickup that Milwaukee really needed and stuff. Love the addition of PJ Tucker too as well. A guy that can shoot from the corner and also could play defense too as well. So it's always just been just the question of whether they can get off the hump and all that. Because, you got a 2-time MVP in Giannis. Could he develop like that into a great 3-point shooter too as well is always the question too. Milwaukee will go as far as if Giannis can take his game to another level.
Let's talk about the team that is talked about more than any other team in the NBA. Let's talk about the Brooklyn Nets.
That team, everybody was talking about on paper they're probably going to win the championship because, they stacked up the debt with, Durant and Kyrie, and then getting James Harden in the trade, and then getting Blake Griffin, and then getting LaMarcus Aldridge before he had to retire, having DeAndre Jordan. Everybody kept talking about that this is going to be the team that you would have to beat in the East because of just the offensive talent that they have. The question about them right now, you see that today that James Harden is going to be sidelined for a while. We don't know how healthy Durant is going to be after he had that after he collided with Trevor Ariza the other day. And you see he missed a lot of games too as well. Kyrie, when he is on the court, he is playing out of his mind too. But when he's, want to take day offs and stuff, he's not there. So that team, the only thing about that team I would say too as well is like they just always been lacking in size. I love the addition of Blake Griffin too as well, a guy that can score too as well. But it just seems like they're just trying to stack the deck to see if they can get the super team to win this championship, And then you have a rookie head coach in Steve Nash, with playing basically D'Antoni's system and all that too as his assistant. So the question with Brooklyn, everybody's like, this is their year or it's going to be a bust.
Now, let me ask you a question, right? I just got word today that Harden's going to be out for the rest of the regular season. How's that going to affect the Nets?
Well, they got to keep winning some games and stuff. Like I said, losing Harden because, he was in the talks of MVP discussion, the way he'd been playing basketball. So they're trying to rest him up for the playoffs and all that. The thing about that team, I would say, is, if Durant can come back healthy and stay healthy with him and Harden and Kyrie, that team will be hard to beat. But like I said, they always lack in size. So that's the thing about Brooklyn. They will beat you with the points on offensively, but when it comes to size, could they really get over the hump, especially going against like a Laker team when you have Andre Drummond and Anthony Davis right there, just two tall people,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The thing, too, with the Brooklyn, as you know, when you get in the playoffs, it's more of a half-court game. And with Brooklyn, you have so many weapons that you can go to. I mean, if they're all healthy, like you said, if they're all healthy, they got so many weapons they can go to. They're gonna be a real tough out. Now let's talk about Philadelphia 76ers.
I've been really impressed how Embiid really stepped up his game and really dominated because we've always been criticizing his game for years as he got so much great footwork in the post and he's always just taking them 3-point shots and all that, not really being dominant down in the paint, and he started becoming dominant. The question about him is his health because he was in the MVP conversation. He's still in the MVP conversation to me. But, it's just a question about his health. Ben Simmons is possibly going to either him or Gobert going to win Defensive Player of the Year. I love the addition they got with Seth Curry, a guy that could really shoot that basketball because that Philadelphia team a couple years ago when they had J.J. Redick, they were one of the better teams and they were going deep into the playoffs. They didn't have that last year, but with having Seth Curry there, that was a great pickup. Doc Rivers playing really, Doc Rivers having an amazing season as a coach, really giving them an identity with Simmons and Embiid when everyone kind of gave off on them, saying that one of them has to be traded so one of them has to leave Philadelphia because they can't do it both of them can't win it on their own and everything. So Philadelphia is the best team in the East right now. So the only question is, they just got to prove it in the playoffs, how far they can get into the playoffs.
I tell you what, Tobias Harris.
Yes,
he's getting a lot.
Yes,
he's getting a lot of. He's gotten a lot of heat. But this year, my man has come to play, and the way that Philadelphia plays their defense, they're defensive oriented, and then they got the big guy in the middle, and then something. People keep laughing at me when I mention his name. Dwight Howard. He's a very effective coming off the bench. He rebounds. He knows his role now. He ain't trying to do too much. He just, is there to do a couple of things, rebound, be a rim protector as much as he can, and, fill the lane. He's doing it exceptionally well, and he's a great addition.
I love that, and I love Danny Green the addition of Danny Green. If Danny Green can stay consistent with the threes and stuff each game and give him a couple of threes each game, that would be a real good problem. I forgot about Tobias Harris. I'm glad that Doc Rivers is there because Tobias Harris, when he was with the Clippers before he got traded for Philadelphia, when he was on the Doc Rivers, he was having an all-star year. Like we was talking about him in the all-star conversation. And now when Doc Rivers went to Philadelphia and Tobias Harris is there, he finally got Tobias Harris to really step up his game and step up. I just love it. I just love what they're doing in Philadelphia.
JP now, so who you got coming out of the East?
Man, that's tough, man. That's going to be really tough. It just really just depends on health, to be honest with you. It just really just depends on health. Man, that's going to be a tough one. I would say, um, now I would say I will go with, I will go with, I'm gonna say Philadelphia. I'm
Okay.
gonna say Philadelphia. I was gonna say Brooklyn, but I don't know how healthy Harden's going to be or how healthy Durant is going to be. They really need both of them on that floor just to get over the hump. I'm gonna say Philadelphia.
Okay. Let's go to the Western Conference. I don't think we got much time. I want to get to a few other items before we got to go, but I'm gonna, let's hit this Western Conference.
Yeah.
Let's go down. Let's go with the bomb. You think Golden State has a shot at making the playoffs?
I would love for them to see go into the playoffs. The only thing is, Memphis. Memphis is always like that team that's just floating around in that AFC with Morant and Valanciunas and all them. If Steph Curry keeps up with his streak and all that and win those games and stuff, and everyone else step up to the plate and stuff, I could see him making the playoffs. Golden State. If Klay Thompson was healthy, Golden State would probably been in the top 4 in the West.
You know something too, JP? If in fact Wiseman didn't get hurt, I like the kid. I think he's a beast. I think he could have definitely helped. But he was just coming off injury, then he gets injured again. Yep. I hope his career don't become injury prone. But the kid has talent, and he's just going to get better and better and better. But I like Golden State. I think they're going to be all right. Let's go to Dallas.
The thing about Dallas, I would say, is they're a really good offensive team, one of the best offensive teams in the league. Luka Doncic is playing unbelievable. Porzingis, if he stays healthy, will help them out too as well. Tim Hardaway Jr., Jalen Brunson, Dorian Finney-Smith, and then Boban too as well. I like that team. Sometimes it just seems like, I don't know if they just don't want it or offensively they can score all these points, but they can't play any defense.
I agree with you 100%. I do like Brunson. He's a local kid, so I kind of like him too. You know what I mean? I like my local players, so I'm gonna give a shout out because I knew his dad real well. But anyway, getting back up to, let's go to Portland.
Portland, man, it's always been just like the injury season with Portland. CJ McCollum being out and missing a lot of games too as well. Little's playing out of his mind right now. Carmelo, I love when they added Carmelo because it brings a dynamic score on the bench and all that, and he can still play the game and stuff. Jokic, not Jokic, Joe, I can't even say his name.
The backup, the center, he came back.
Yeah. If he stays healthy, that team would be hard to beat too as well. Zach Collins haven't played a lot this season too as well. Losing Gary Trent Jr., I was like, that's kind of tough because he was, shooting, he was hitting the threes too as well. Just the thing with Portland, but I love the addition of Norman Powell too because Norman Powell really can really play and can really ball too as well. And having Derrick Jones Jr. too as well doesn't hurt either. But yeah, Portland's just one of those up and down teams.
Los Angeles Lakers.
The thing about it is the Lakers can go as far as AD and LeBron take them. I love AD's coming back tomorrow night just to, get himself kind of prepared for the playoffs. And then LeBron's coming back by the end of the month. LeBron's been playing unbelievable before he got hurt. I love the addition of Andre Drummond because they needed another big guy too in the paint after losing Dwight Howard and all them last year and not having and losing McGee. The bench just really has to step up too as well. Caruso and I love that Horton Tucker kid. I think he's going to be a really good player. Kyle Kuzma really has to step up too as well. And he's been stepping up a bit for the Lakers too. I love Schroeder. He plays with the heart on his sleeve. But like I said, they really need LeBron and AD. And if they're healthy, they're going to be a hard team to beat. They'll probably be like the team in the West.
Okay, now we got to go to Denver, who unfortunately lost Jamal Murray for the whole year, which was a big big setback for them because they were on their way up. 37-20 record. Losing him is going to be a big factor.
That's gonna be a big factor, especially playoff time, because you seen what he did in the playoffs last year. Guy played unbelievable. I thought he'd be one of those all-star players this year, but he had just consistency. Jokic has been playing really well. I love the addition of Aaron Gordon. I feel like he's gonna bring a lot to that Denver team. Michael Porter Jr., like I said, I'm high on him, but I don't know how he's like. I don't know how they treat themselves in that Denver system, because you got a lot of good scores on that team. You still have Millsap with the veteran experience with Will Barton, and that's just the question is how far can Jokic up his game, but everyone else has to step up because he's my MVP this year.
He's mine as well. We're going to get to that if we have any more time. I'm going to go with next. We're going to go with the Clippers.
The Clippers will go as far as Kawhi and Paul George can take them. It's basically how I look at the Clippers. I'm happy that they got a lot better, and Paul George is playing a lot better too as well. I love the additional Rondo. I feel like that was a great pickup for the Clippers with the defense that they played too. Like I said, they will go as far as Paul George and Kawhi will take them. They still have the kind of the core team with Zubac. But they will go as far as they will take them as Paul George and Kawhi.
Phoenix Suns.
One of the teams that people were expecting to come out really this year after really doing really good at the bubble. Chris Paul, with the addition of Chris Paul, I was really happy that they really got Chris Paul because he brings that experience, and also he's been playing really good too as well. Devin Booker's been playing really great. DeAndre Ayton been playing really good. Monte Williams really needs a lot of credit getting that Suns team to win games, and also being the second best team. It's just been unbelievable watching Phoenix play.
Now we talk about injuries. We have Utah with Mitchell being out. We don't know for how long, extended amount of time he's going to be out. What effect is that going to have on Utah?
Well, the thing about Utah is, losing Donovan Mitchell, he's going to get reevaluated in the week. Gobert really has to step up a little bit more, but, he's been that defensive ankle too as well. You also have Bogdanovic coming from Indiana. They lost him last year with injury, and he's a dynamic scorer. I love Jordan Clarkson. I think he's going to win Sixth Man of the Year. I love the addition of Mike Conley. He's been playing really good, playing at an all-star level too this year. So that team is the best team in the West right now in the regular season, and Chris Snyder deserves a lot of credit, improving the squad and everything. So,
JP, right now, give me your finals and your eventual winner in the NBA.
The finals, I would say the Lakers. I would love to see the Lakers, and I said Philadelphia. I feel like it's going to be the Lakers this year if LeBron and AD stays healthy.
Okay. Now we talked about the MVP because I know we're short on time, so I'm going to try to run through this as quick as I possibly can. MVP, who you got?
Jokic. Jokic's been playing unbelievable. You just see how valuable he is, especially with that last game he played in that double overtime game. He's been playing really well. So Jokic is my MVP.
Right now I'm undecided between him and Embiid right now. Jokic is averaging 26.4 points a game, shooting 57% from the floor, 11.1 rebounds a game. Almost 9 assists a game. He's playing the total game. And the fact is, he plays every game.
Yes.
He plays every game.
That's the thing.
You got to take that into consideration as well. Embiid, his numbers are great, but he's been out for a while.
Yep.
So if I had the only thing that's going to hurt is losing Murray. If that's going to affect the way Denver, what outcome they have during the regular season, how far they finish up. because there's been only one team that has an MVP that finished worse than 7th place, if I recall. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but my vote is Jokic. Rookie of the year,
Yep.
who you going with?
Rookie of the year, everybody had LaMelo Ball before he got hurt with that wrist, and then Anthony Edwards been playing really well for Minnesota. I'm still going to go LaMelo Ball by an edge, but Anthony Edwards been playing really great as well for Minnesota.
I love LaMelo Ball. Again, he may be a big factor in Charlotte making the playoffs. And Anthony Edwards, although he's having a great year, he's on a terrible team. Basically, they're not even fun to watch. I like watching him. I'm glad Towns is back. After all the things that happened with his life and his family. So I'm glad he's back playing the game that he loves, and he's playing very well. I'm going to have to go with LaMelo Ball as well. Now, let me ask you your question. When you pick the MVP or the Rookie of the Year or anything, how much do you put in the factor as a team or as an individual? How much importance do you play?
That's going to be it's always tough because you see Shaq and Charles argue back and forth. Oh, team success. Or what about individual success? For me, when I pick my MVP, I pick of who's the most valuable player on their team in terms of their team success. I don't really pick individuals. I understand that, Russell Westbrook, won MVP because of his individual accolades, averaging a triple-double, because we haven't seen that since Oscar Robertson. But I always pick because of just the team success. How far did the team go with that person? How impactful is that person on that team? Look, LeBron could win MVP every year if he wanted to with his team success, but who really stepped up that nobody never talked about, or that's just playing out of their mind? I'll go at team than the individual.
Now, I texted you before the show because I wanted to find out, what your thoughts were on the All-NBA team. Give me your first All-NBA team, second team, and third. We'll go with the first team. Then I'll give you mine.
All right. I did wrote it down, and I was debating back and forth for it. Obviously, for center, it would be Jokic because he's going to be my MVP. I think he's going to make the first team. I say Giannis, because he's been playing really good too as well. I've been debating back and forth if LeBron's going to be first team or second team. I kind of might surprise people. I might, since he's been out, I'm gonna put him in the second team. I have Kawhi Leonard as my first team, and then for my guards, Lillard has been having it's been a consideration for Lillard, but I'm gonna say Luka over Lillard by an edge, and just because of how well he's been playing. And then I'm gonna go Hornets from Brooklyn Nets because he was in that MVP conversation. He's been playing really well.
I went with Embiid. I went with Luka. I went with Jokic. I went with Steph, and I went with Harden. Again, LeBron James. I mean, he could be on first team every time, but because he's been off so long, I don't know if he'll get consideration. I mean, do I think he should be on it? I don't know if they're going. I don't know. I don't know.
I'll say he's on it. I say he's on it just because he was playing at MVP level and he was like one of those favorites for MVP before he got hurt. So he's in that. He's somewhere in that realm in the All NBA this year.
Now let me ask you a question. You think if he makes the team, there's going to be a lot of questioning of him making that first NBA team because of the fact he has been out?
There'll probably be a lot of debate about it, but everyone's probably going to talk about the first half of the season, how LeBron has been playing really great since Anthony Davis been out and stuff. So there's gonna be a lot of debate going on with it. It's been hard for me because it was him or Kawhi that was like, oh, like I was like, God, who's gonna be that first one? So I was like, I'm sorry because since LeBron's been out, I have to say Kawhi. And plus, Kawhi's team is third in the West right now, and they've been playing really great.
Who's your second team?
My second team, I have Steph Curry. And the reason I didn't have Steph in my first team is because Golden State, is not it. They're kind of hunting in the playoffs. If they were like in the fifth, sixth seed, then I would have Steph as my first team because he's been playing unbelievable. So I have Steph, I have Damian Lillard, I have LeBron, I have Embiid as my center because Jokic was my center for first team, and then I have Jason Tatum from the Boston Celtics because he's been playing really good basketball.
That's a good team. My second team, I have Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis, Kyrie, and Dame.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Who are you going to roll with you on your third team?
My third team, this one has been a lot of debate too as well. If Kyrie didn't really took them personal days off and everything, I would have him on my second team since he's been playing unbelievable. But I have Kyrie, I have Donovan Mitchell because he's been playing great until you got hurt. I got Rudy Gobert for my center. The fourth spot, I've been having a debate. I didn't have Paul George there because Paul George was playing the guard position and stuff. So I didn't really have him. He would have been in my All-NBA team, but Donovan Mitchell been playing good and Kyrie been playing good. So I'm looking at the four positions. I said maybe KD. There's going to be a lot of debate with KD, especially with the games. He's been out and stuff, but he's been playing really well until he got hurt. And then this one is a debate, because Zion's having an amazing year. Just stat wise, and then Julius Randle has been playing really great. So if I had to choose one, I would have to go with Julius Randle just because that Knicks team really surprised me coming out. Being in the top 8 seed in the Eastern Conference.
JP, the reason why I asked you this question because I knew this was going to be real difficult. You named some names, I forgot about them. I didn't even add them to my list. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the reason why I asked you this question. Now, what I did was I didn't really go on the third team. I didn't break it down with the guards and the forwards and the centers. I just figured put 5 out there, and you just made me change my mind. You made me change my mind. But who I went with, even though they have one of the worst records in the league, I still think that, they deserve some consideration. Bradley Beal and Westbrook, their numbers definitely speak for themselves, although they're playing on a terrible team. But I went with them too. I had to show some love to Booker. I had to show some love to Booker.
Oh, yes.
I had to show some love to Booker. You know what I mean? And then I went with his backcourt mate, Chris Paul. And then I went with Mitchell. You know what I mean? It's so tough. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I don't know how they're gonna come up with the figure, but that's why I wanted to get your opinion on it. I respect your opinion. You know the game. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting debate. I would love to be in that room with the people that choose the All NBA teams and stuff. I would love to be in it.
What games? Well, I don't know if you have the schedule in front of you, but I think a great game is going to be tomorrow night. I think the game between the Celtics and Phoenix Suns is going to be real big. That's what I think. But the thing is, Phoenix is coming off a back-to-back because they play Philly tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how that's going to work when you're playing back-to-back games. The back-to-back games kill you, and the Stars usually don't go back-to-back. You know what I mean? So, people were talking about how boring the NBA is this year. I don't think so. I'm having a ball. I'm excited. I'm watching more games. I'm into it. I'm into it, and I'm enjoying the games. One thing I did want to bring up, do you realize that there are 27 players who average 20 points or more?
Wow.
That's exactly what I said. And 7 average 27 or more.
That's
crazy.
I mean?
So I mean, that's crazy. The NBA is fantastic. That's what I say. You know, I love the game. I love watching the game, and the athletic ability of the NBA ball players to me is just phenomenal. You know, you got the young up and coming rookies who are playing like they're not rookies. I mean, the NBA. I think the landscape is good. I think the NBA has a good future ahead, and the playoffs are going to be unbelievable. I think that you know, the talent is definitely there. I think that's going to be very competitive. I really don't know who's going to come out. Usually, everybody knows it's going to come down, but you never know. You never know.
No.
And that's what makes the NBA so great. That's what I think. You know what I mean? But it's almost that time to go, my man. I enjoy having you on my show. I'm going to be hitting you up again soon. You know what I mean? But I definitely appreciate you coming on my show. And can you let the people know again how they can get in touch with you?
Yeah, man. If you want to go check out my YouTube channel, it's just JP with the Z. Got a lot of NBA content. Hey, follow me on my Facebook, Justin Paden, Instagram, JPaden57, Twitter, JP Franchise 57. I'm always like showing posts about NBA and stuff. But yeah, check out my YouTube channel. You know, got a lot of good NBA content on there.
And JP, you know, I'm going to be hitting you up on a regular. You know that. So we're going to talk some NBA. You know, again, I do appreciate you coming on our show. And I want to thank I-95 Sports and Entertainment Network, Blackjack TV, as well as Baldy's Podcast Network. It's been fun with my man, JP. We're only just beginning, my man. You have a great night. Thank you for coming on my show. Thank you, everybody. God bless. Stay safe. Thank you very much.